the lesson from last year. Even the ministry itself actually learned, and I'm so sure he's picking up the points they got last year. But I would actually probably speak to enriching the process. I do not really subscribe to the politics or analysis of hopelessness and negative reductionist. I think, first of all, we need to congratulate the CS for what he's actually gone out to do. Last year's rejection of the finance bill was actually a failure of policy advocacy. It was a failure in communication. If just a little bit more had been done, it would have turned out differently. A little bit of listening. So even if they're going to do it for 3 months, let's actually just say that they've seen something. Of course, the budget cycle is a whole year process. We need to actually then do away even with the thinking that a budget cycle is actually annual. We need to actually bring in people and even talk about the MTEF framework, the medium-term planning framework, so that then people understand that this is how a budget item is going to look in the next 3 years. You can actually work through and see where that is going. But be that as it is, I think it will be important that not just CS Mbadi, but the entire of government, number one, operationalize sessional paper number 3 of 2023, that is Kenya's policy on public participation. This public participation framework has actually been dragging. We've played games with it for over the last 1 decade. We still do not have everything in place. We need to operationalize that particular sessional paper. The policy on public participation needs to be, so that then all of us know. It shouldn't just be that in anticipation of people coming out to reject, then we can do things around that. 2, the CS needs to bring in stakeholders that matter. Government's biggest sellers of policy are actually members of parliament. And you know, our parliament is actually a budget-making organ. Therefore, I would expect that as CS Mbadi goes around, we expect to see him with people from parliament, whether it's the budget committee members, even as they go around, because it is members of parliament who will be in funerals, it's members of parliament who will be in weddings, it's members of parliament who will be in birthdays, who will be going around. It's important that they also take time. Treasury takes time and totally tools members of parliament to be able to actually sell this. Because one of the problems we had last year was that the salesmen, the salespeople, the people that go out to actually sell government policy, by default, by the way, members of parliament had zero idea. A lot of them, some of them who even sat in very important committees. So I hope that CS Mbadi will bring in parliament, take time, help parliament, capacity build them on this. As much as this document is normally in parliament longer before it comes out here, a lot of them don't pay attention. 2, it's not so difficult for CS Mbadi to also deal with the civil society organizations, especially those ones that are into accountability, the budgeting process and budget making process. They are strewn all over the country. Accountability framework, or not really frameworks, but networks out there. So again, it shouldn't be a government exclusive thing. Reach out to young people out there who are doing budgeting. They are out there doing it. So CS Mbadi should reach out to those CSOs. So there are CBOs, NGOs down there doing so much. Then finally, the media. He's out there doing this alone. So you and I will be here in the morning again talking about this thing like we're just meeting it the way it is. Yet you are an opinion shaper. You are engaging people. You are an authority in the way how you actually disseminate information. So I hope that even as they go out to do this, they will do it differently and not then get into the old way of how government does things. You know, it's like it's them alone. They should remember that people are co-governors in this. And it's important to work with all stakeholders.
Okay. And the media has done him justice, putting it on the front page.
Yeah, they've done their bits.
The headline there, ukurasa wa mbele wa taifa leo, anavyopanga kutuliza Gen Z. Gen Z appears to be the problem here. Yes, you say he needs to talk to other...
This headline is not very helpful because already it's actually setting up him against Gen Z, because it's like, you see how you did last year? This guy is planning to actually run away. So who told you that they will then not prepare? Of course, for headline politics, that's how it's done.
It is a real concern that Gen Z have just gone quiet, but there are issues around the budget-making process. That has to be handled differently this time around, Kathy.
Maybe they moved from the budget to route must go. They are no longer concerned about the budget.
The budget-making process is here. It is a real concern.
Yeah.
That the concerns Gen Z's had last year will still be there.